Most people stay poor not because they earn less, but because they never change what they repeat daily. If you do the same things every morning, every week, every month, your future is already decided. This video isn't motivation. It's a system. Follow it daily and staying poor becomes mathematically impossible over time. People think money problems come from bad luck, low salary, or the economy. But the real problem is invisible routines. Tiny daily decisions quietly control your financial direction. You don't feel them hurting you because damage happens slowly. By the time you notice, years are gone. Poverty is usually a habit, not an event. Before money can grow, awareness must grow first. You can't fix what you don't notice. Most people don't track how money enters and exits their life. They only feel stress afterward. Wealth starts when you observe your financial behavior without emotion, excuses, or self-judgment. Awareness is the first daily action that changes everything. Every day, rich people look at their money on purpose. Poor people avoid it emotionally. The daily habit is simple. Check what came in, what went out, and what remains. No stress, no reaction, just observation. This 5-minute daily check slowly removes fear and replaces it with control. Control always comes before growth. Financial blindness keeps people trapped. When you don't see your numbers daily, spending decisions feel harmless. But daily visibility creates friction. You hesitate before wasting money. You pause before emotional spending. This friction is powerful. It doesn't feel exciting, but it quietly blocks the behaviors that keep people broke year after year. Motivation fades. Discipline repeats. The goal isn't feeling inspired about money. The goal is doing the same boring action daily without negotiation. Checking numbers, recording decisions, reviewing patterns. This consistency compounds quietly. Most people fail not because they quit forever, but because they skip often. Daily discipline separates growth from stagnation. Nothing dramatic changes on day 1 or day 7, but something important begins. Momentum. Small daily money awareness builds confidence. Confidence builds better decisions. Better decisions change direction. This is how progress actually works. Quiet, slow, predictable. Anyone can do this, but almost nobody stays consistent long enough to escape. Phase 1 is awareness and control. Without this, nothing else works. In the next phase, you'll see how one small daily money rule forces savings to grow automatically. Without willpower, this is where most people fail or finally break free. Stay focused, because the next step changes how money behaves in your life. Awareness alone doesn't make you rich. Action does. Phase 2 begins when you stop trusting willpower and start trusting systems. Rich people don't rely on motivation to save money. They remove the decision entirely. Once saving becomes automatic, poverty loses its strongest weapon: inconsistency. This is where money finally starts behaving differently. Most people save whatever is left at the end of the month. That's why nothing is left. The rule is simple. Savings come first, spending comes second. The moment money enters your account, a portion must disappear into savings automatically. You never see it. You never touch it. This single rule changes outcomes permanently. Emotions are expensive. Automation is neutral. When saving is automatic, you don't argue with yourself. You don't feel deprived. You simply adapt. Humans always adjust to what remains. Automation quietly forces discipline without pain. This is why people who automate early never feel stuck, even on average salaries. When savings move first, spending naturally shrinks. Not painfully, but realistically. You stop living at the edge. You stop chasing appearances. Control feels better than consumption. This is where many people panic and quit. But those who stay discover something powerful. Freedom grows faster when lifestyle stays simple. When savings move first, spending naturally shrinks. Not painfully, but realistically. You stop living at the edge. You stop chasing appearances. Control feels better than consumption. This is where many people panic and quit. But those who stay discover something powerful. Freedom grows faster when lifestyle stays simple. When you save automatically every day, something changes internally. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles. You become someone who plans. Identity shifts first, wealth follows later. This isn't mindset talk. It's repetition. What you repeat daily becomes who you are financially. That identity is hard to break. Once saving is automatic, progress speeds up. Small amounts stack. Stress reduces. Decisions improve. You don't feel rich, but you feel stable. Stability is the foundation of wealth. Most people never reach this stage because they keep negotiating with themselves. Automation removes negotiation entirely. Phase 2, locked in control and consistency. But saving alone won't make you wealthy. In the final phase, you'll see how money must be redirected to grow, not just sit still. This is where patience turns into power, and staying poor becomes impossible if you follow the process daily. Saving protects you, but it doesn't free you. Money that only sits still slowly loses power. Phase 3 begins when saved money is given a job. This is the moment most people freeze, because growth requires patience and trust. But without growth, even disciplined savers remain stuck in the same financial class forever. People stay poor chasing big wins or avoiding all risk. Both are traps. Growth happens quietly through small, repeatable actions. You don't need luck. You need consistency. When money grows a little every day, time becomes your ally. This is how ordinary incomes build extraordinary outcomes. Compounding is unfair, and that's why it works. The longer you stay consistent, the faster results appear. At first, nothing seems to happen. Then momentum takes over. Most people quit before this moment. Those who stay don't just earn more. They escape the cycle entirely. Wealth doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards patience. Time multiplies whatever system you build. Bad systems keep you poor longer. Good systems quietly lift you out. When daily habits align with long-term growth, money stops being stressful and starts becoming predictable. Predictability is the real power. At this stage, you won't look rich. That's the point. While others consume raises, you convert them into assets. The gap forms silently. Years later, people call it luck. But you know the truth. It was discipline repeated daily, long after motivation disappeared. When systems handle your money, your mind rests. Financial stress fades. Decisions feel lighter. You're no longer reacting. You're directing. This is why people who follow this process don't burn out financially. Energy returns when chaos disappears. Once your system is running, going back feels impossible. Missing days feels uncomfortable. Growth becomes normal. This is the point of no return. Not because you're rich yet, but because your behavior no longer supports staying poor. If this felt uncomfortably accurate, you're already closer than most. The exact daily system that builds this kind of momentum is simple, but rarely explained properly. Watch what comes next. Once you see the full structure, staying poor stops being an option.